I define success, money is part of it. What the life my family is going to get to lead and myself is one aspect of it. The ability to build a long-standing brand and a business that will continue on well beyond me. The amount of people that we have put on, the amount of people when we exited the first time, the amount of people that were able to buy and have no mortgage, buy homes and have no mortgage, and pay for their kids' college well in advance, and life-changing money, and life-changing opportunities for people who might not have had them in other places, in other ways, because they didn't have the perfect resumes. Like, all of those are and by the way, I can keep going on other components, but that to me is the measure of success, not just the what we exited for, or what I exited for, or what I'm able to buy, and the choices I can make, but the effect we've had on the community and my partners and my investors. And it is a very long and differentiated list of things that we've accomplished across the board. And that, maybe that's not shared by everybody, but that's the way I look at it.
I love that, because that was going to be my last question. How do you measure success? Because it's an interesting thing, because everybody measures it differently. For one person, it might literally be just having the opportunity, to chase their passion forever. For somebody, and it's something, that I always try.
Well, here's the other thing is, I think the same way, your number always change, like everybody's got a number, right? Like when I'm done, right? That changes, but so does the definition of success, right? Like,
changes.
if you would have asked me a long time ago, especially coming from where I came from, what success would have been, it would have been able to walk into a store and not worry about whether I could buy that for my child or not, or live in certain neighborhoods, or give my children certain opportunities, and me not to have to worry about paying bills and other things like that. That to me was my first rung of what I would, in my life, what I was going to strive for from success. Because I didn't even know what other aspects of success looked like, because my purview of it was so low to start with. And then you get to certain places and you start to see, what other people define it as. And then you go the same way you look at their skills and go, I don't want to do it the way they do it. I do like this aspect. You start looking at what people do, like now my next level of success, which I hadn't thought of before, over the last three to 4 years, I've started more and more, and especially now, I've started more and more trying to help other people be successful. And that is, we did that with our company, but I didn't have time to look outside. Now, trying to find other people, other entrepreneurs, super passionate people, super talented people, and they don't have to want to start their own thing, but I'd love to be able to be in a position to help people optimize their lives, especially people who don't have, like, I didn't have a playbook because I didn't have really successful people in my family. But they didn't know anybody from a connection perspective. I couldn't sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody. My dad didn't play golf with the right people, like all that shit, right? And like, I had to make my own blueprint. And if I can help people accelerate that blueprint or make a better one for themselves, that to me will be a massive level of success. And that's the next thing, but it's constantly evolving.
So funny, man, how like, even with myself, like as pathetic as it sounds, when I was 13, my first goal was for the brand that I started to hit 1 million followers on Instagram. Like, that was my goal. I was like, I don't want anything else. I don't care about money. I don't care about that. And like having the best sports cards, that hasn't changed. But by the way,
that'll end. Like,
You froze up for a sec. What you said?
Buying these sports cards now, and I know a lot of people think they're expensive, but the best correlate I can make, it's like buying a $5,000 Kevin Durant rookie card right now, which I think it's like $5 or $6 like going for.
Yeah,
It's like buying Bitcoin for $6, dude.
That's some high praise right
it
there.
It really is.
We'll talk about cards right
I'm
after.
telling you.
Yeah, we'll talk more about cards. But so back to the point, when I was 13, that was my goal. Then, was able to do that. And by the time I did it, I didn't care about it anymore. It had no impact. Then my goal became, to be able to not only have conversations like this with people like yourself to educate me, but to help other people as a byproduct. So everybody's benefiting, everybody's learning. And also, the bigger goal is to have access to anybody in the world to have these types of conversations. People who are 90 years old and have never done a podcast, but I want them to share their knowledge, their life experience, through a platform like this. That's become my goal. And then on a similar front, being able to involve the charitable front, I think the ability to scale charitable endeavors has never been easier. Through social media and utilizing large masses of people around communities. And I'll tell you a little bit about the charity that I'm launching soon, actually around sports cards. You're gonna get the biggest kick out of it. I can't say it yet on the podcast because of when this will release, but there's stuff coming soon there. But it is true to your point. Helping people becomes so much more rewarding. And it's also a branding play, right? Because as noble as people are, helping other people makes you look better as a person too. It's always a byproduct.
Yeah, yes. I think it's also, there's one other byproduct you haven't gotten to. There's the branding yourself, but actually it's setting a precedent to inspire other people to make that their definition of success, 100%. Right? That is super fucking important. Like, I would love to set a precedent like in this country, I mean, globally as well, but is that you can't define yourself as successful unless you've helped others.